Good afternoon, everybody. Another beautiful, bright, sunshiny 80-degree day outside here today, and I'm really liking it the way November's starting with the weather, but I'm quite sure one of these days we're just going to roll off the cliff and the weather's going to change. It's going to change hard, and the rainy season will be upon us, and we will be in the shop a lot of the time. One of the big projects that I've been working on, and it's now turned into the longest one time-wise that I've ever done here on the Rancho, is the restoration of the, we're going to call it a 1972 Magnavox AstroSonic, and it really was a premier unit in the 1970s, still relatively early, solid state, very well made, excellent components. It has mid-range, it has horns in it, horn and bass combo, and it's got the nice big bass speakers, but it's got a horn combo tweeters in here, and it really does give excellent sound. Well, it's taken a long time because I've dragged it out. I think I got this thing like, gosh, 3 years ago when Bobby and I went out on a rainy night, I think in March of 2015, and rescued this, one of our vintage audio rescue jobs. And there's a few of them on there going out saving vintage American audio one piece at a time. And this was one of the ones that I saved, but it's dragged out. Even the Motorola 21 tube stereo console, 1961 unit inside, featuring 21 vacuum tubes, 3 channels, a left channel, a right channel, and a dedicated bass channel. Took like 22 episodes of a playlist to do the restoration of that. Well, this has not been a lot. I mean, we've had to restore the amplifier and get that back up to snuff, lubricated the record player, got that up to snuff. Everything seems to be working real well now. I ultimately want to put this into the Shine Shack under the TV there to have a real lady cave over there. This will also free up more space in the workshop, and we can get on to some of the other projects that need to be done here. So what I'd like to do today is to do the restoration, the physical restoration of the cabinetry, and get things cleaned up and polished a little bit. And the next video will be a feature video. We'll be playing some music and bidding farewell to the unit from the workshop and sticking it out in the Shine Shack there. So let's talk about what we want to get done today. This cabinetry, and I do have a light setup up here to give us a little more light. Of course, the front of it does take a beating, much more than the back or sides, because people work the controls here in running the unit. Now, one of the things that also happens is that you get a lot of scuffs. You got a lot of marks on here where the odd person kicking it or dropping something on the front of it. You can see some of the wear or tear, people leaning against it here. And that should really be remediated. And some vintage restorers don't do anything when it comes to appearance. But I think first class restorer is always going to try to, without using fake materials and stuff. Now you're going to say, oh yeah, Rosie, you faked these brass screws here. Yeah, because I was too lazy, and this isn't really an ultra expensive piece. I mean, hell, I picked this up for $50, right? So it's not worth being real anal retentive about the restoration of it. So, but you still want it to be as nice as possible. So I would like it to look good. I bought something a while ago, it's called, and I used this on the Motorola, and it's really beautiful. It's not that dark. It's a walnut. It's Howard's Restore a Finish. And what I would like to do, try close the hell then. What the hell, the can's open, huh? What I would like to do is go around and just work on getting this cabinetry all restored. It's dusty, it's kind of dirty, as you can see down there. Get that cleaned up. We've got some scratches on here let's see what we can do in the way. Let's see how it does on the scratch. We also had the top lids, and we have this back piece that has to be remounted here. This is the back top trim piece that has to be placed too on the back of that. And that gives a nice finished appearance on there. And we also have the two sliding tops that go in here. And then we have to mount the back piece too and get the antenna mounted. I would like to make sure we have an access hole so that we can run an MP3 player as an auxiliary input into this. And it's nice to be able to hook up your cell phone or a computer, get that MP3 3.5 millimeter plug, and run some music, you know, digital music, as opposed to being all you know, records and through the air broadcast stereo. So yeah, these are the, we do have some light today. I didn't have a lot of light last time. Just give you a last look at the back before we're gonna be closing that up. And you can see those big basses, those big bass speakers that I was talking about, and those beautiful mid-range tweeter horn combination back there. There's something that you just would not see today, but the quality of Magnavox was such that things held up well. These non-polarized capacitors are great. There's nothing that has to be replaced on those two. Are still sounding outstanding here. Typical of Magnavox quality. Like I said before, it's a top of the line company Magnavox was, and this was produced in Indiana. And yeah, got that all cleaned up pretty good. We'll remount the antenna once we put the backing on. So let's go ahead and do a little testing here and see what we can do in terms of alleviating some of the things. Like, well, we'll use this as a sample here. We've got, as you can see, those scratches right down there. Let's get some Howards on that. As I wipe the Howards off, you'll see it does a really nice job of burying and getting rid of some of those really obvious defects as we go around. Yes, is it still there? Yes, but is it less noticeable? You let this sit on a wall, and then you come back and wipe it off, and it just does a really nice job. We'll check this one here. See that? We'll run over top of that. And I'm going to put a little more Howards on there, and what's going to happen is that should basically disappear. Let's get a little more of that on. I don't want to spill it and make a mess of this stuff. Okay. You just really liberally apply that. And what it does is basically bring that right back up to snuff. Okay, there's another mark down here. I don't know if you can see that too well. And we got some reflected sun, but run the Howards over it, and it just disappears. There's like a drip mark here. And that's pretty much gone. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning the front, and we'll what I'm gonna do is overcoat the whole thing one time. Do not put it on the grill cloth, please, okay? That's the covering for the speakers. Don't put it on there. Okay. It will discolor that. You gotta be careful how you're working this. Get this in the grooves here. You want to really liberally apply it to the front, because this is where a lot of the wear and tear of these units are. Okay. You want to make sure the beauty of this unit with this colonial style matches the fidelity or the beauty of the sound that is produced. Even the handle pulls have engraved bits on them that I'll show you guys. Okay. All right, I pretty much got the front. So what I do is give that one big coat there, and then come back. You want to wipe that off. Okay. That'll penetrate where it needs to. It'll wipe off pretty easily where it's not needed. Okay. I'm going to put a little more down here. Seems to be a little bit of wear damage here. So wipe that off good. And that just disappears. It's like new. Like my Gmail. I can make it like new at gmail.com. Now you know where the name comes from. Okay. Might find a little spot here and there. Like down at the bottom, down here. Just go over that. You can even take a Q-tip if you really want to work it in to some of the deeper affected areas. But I think it looks grand. You want to avoid a high shine. Fine furniture does not have a high shine to it, okay? I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that shadow there. I'm going to go ahead and get the two sides now. I won't show that, but I will get that done, and then we'll take care of the sliding top, okay? I think that really looks good now. Get on the other side to get out of the shadow. All cleaned up. Don't worry about these things. This is because there was probably a little moisture on the top. Yeah, you could sand that down, but I tell you what, you start messing with that, and you're going to have a whole lot of trouble with mismatch. They're not the kind of things that I worry about. Okay, it's a little bit of a natural degradation of the finish. Mainly, you know why? Because when people are leaning down to mess with the unit, they're putting their hand right down here while they're messing with the knobs and to support their back. Okay, that's where that's coming from, right there. All that degradation, not that critical, huh? Not that noticeable. So very nice looking unit, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and place the first of the top pieces. This right side top, you can see there's a pretty major mark. Woo! Just did totally away with that, didn't it? Wow. Did a beautiful job on that. How nice that looks. Isn't that beautiful? Now we don't want to shine. We want to take that down to a sheen, not a shine. Okay? Magnavox would never put anything out with a high shine to it. Okay? No plasticized wood. Doesn't it look fantastic? I'm going to be proud to have this unit and enjoy this in the Shine Shack because I'm going to start doing a lot of streaming from out there. Okay, this side is also scuffed and in pretty poor shape here. Let's get some more of our Howard's Restore and let's see if we can make this side look as nice as this side over here, okay? Isn't that amazing? It just does such a great job. Pull that little bit to get the leading edge on that. Okay, this is your record holder area in here. And we'll just give that a final Get a clean, fresh, soft towel, and we'll wipe down the whole unit. Doesn't that look beautiful? That just looks glorious there. Can't really see any marks or scratches on that at all. You don't want to use a real dark wood stain like a Howard's on it, or it'll be even more prominent. Okay, use a matching one. That looks great. Now it's time to reattach our back panel, and then we'll clean up our top piece here and get that placed. Okay, the back is on. Let me avoid the copyright match here. Sorry, Prince. There is the back is all back in position. I just can't believe the nice job this Howard's does on as a restoration person's best friend, especially if you restore consoles like I do. They're very big pieces. They're not for everybody, but if you're gonna have them, you might as well have them right. So may eventually end up selling this one, but I'm gonna get some enjoyment out of it into the lady cave over there for sure. Looking good. Next we got to get that top piece attached that goes. Let's try to get these holes all lined up. All right. Grab our Phillips screwdriver. That side secured. I'm surprised this piece didn't break over the years as much banging around as this. One of the first things I did was take off this top piece. Thank goodness. Thank goodness somebody didn't throw it in the fireplace for firewood. Huh? Get this secured down really well. Okay. We'll put one more screw down here. And we will be all set. Kind of reach for that hole. Okay, there we go. Oh, that looks nice. Now we're going to grab the Howard's Restore, and we're going to go right over the back there. Isn't that a nice back piece? That's so typical of Magnavox. They just Magnavox and Zenith, they were all about very high quality. Okay, this was well before, well, it's the early days of the flood of Japanese products, but nice. Let's take that and run that over. Oh, have to use it. I think I'm going to have to use a better screw for this end, so, but you get the basic idea of it. Well, I certainly know this is one project that took a lot longer than it should have, but considering we had to procure a new faceplate for underneath of the tuning dial and underneath all the control knobs, well, that took a little time to rebuilding and working the amp, finding some of the problems with the unit, checking the components, crossover speakers, making sure everything was A-okay. And then finally going ahead and doing some restoration, some physical restoration of the exterior. Well, we're basically all complete. So we're going to wrap it up today. One of my great joys in life that very few people know about is my passion for Hawaiian music. And I'm not talking about hokey kind of Hawaiian music. I'm talking about mainstream Hawaiian, native Hawaiian music, particularly a group called the Makaha Sons of Ni'ihau, and of course one of them was Brother Izzy, who did this Somewhere Over the Rainbow, passed away quite a few years ago from complications of diabetes, being terrifically overweight. But the Sons of Ni'ihau is a tremendous local group, Ni'ihau being the Forbidden Island of Hawaii. It's owned by a family, but it's only open to native Hawaiians, and it's not a place that tourists ever go. And it's a place that the music that's come out of that island and the culture that's preserved of Hawaii is, well, it's still remarkable today. One of my favorite songs when I lived in Hawaii for a period of time was Drums of the Island. And of course, Elvis Presley did a remake of that in his movie Blue Hawaii. But it couldn't come close to what the Makaha sons of Ni'ihau did. I want to thank you for being along today. Of course, we'll have more projects ahead. Normally, when I complete a project, I would be on the wall of sound, uploading the video part here in the workshop and part inside when the unit is put on the wall of sound. But as I mentioned at the beginning, this unit is destined for the Shine Shack, so it will not be sitting in front of the wall of sound. Let's enjoy the Makaha sons of Ni'ihau with their rendition of Drums of the Island. And as you listen to the overflowing instruments here, the dobro, the guitars, the bass. These guys, for a small four-person combo, put out a tremendous amount of sound. I hope that you enjoy it.
If ever I wonder if ever we're apart.
Thanks everyone. The amazing Magnavox 1972 AstroSonic console.